The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch Show on Beach FM 106.3. Let's talk some more retail now, and let's welcome to the show from Nepal NZ Connection, it's Marie Hannan. G'day, Marie.
Hello.
How are you doing at this time?
Not too bad. The business is a bit slow at the moment, but it has been good.
Right, you're on the way bounce back, or is it this time of year for you? Is it a bit different?
No, when we first came back, it was really good for probably about 6-8 weeks. It's slowed down now, mainly because I'm short of quite a bit of stock, and I can't get it in at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's the follow-on effect of that global thing.
Yes,
all right.
it is.
Before we get into all that nitty-gritty, because it sounds like yes, but what we like to do first and foremost is get to know the people that we're talking to. So how did it all start for you? Where did it come from?
Well, way back in about 2006, I went off to Nepal to work as a volunteer teacher. Okay. And I originally had been one of the owners of Kapiti Cheeses up at Lindale.
Oh, wow.
And we sold the business in 2004, and I had all this money and being one of the main shareholders. And I sort of, what am I going to do with that? I was enjoying my life and doing well, and so I decided I'd like to do something where I didn't have to worry about money coming in. And so I went off to Nepal for 4 years, 2 years actually, and stayed 4 years. I enjoyed it so much.
Oh wow! Sounds like when I went to Dublin. So I can imagine you falling in love with the place. But where did this idea come from?
What, going to Nepal or the shop?
The shop, yeah. Yeah,
well, when I came back, I wanted to still have a connection with Nepal because 48% of the people in Nepal are unemployed. They don't have social welfare. Because I had a lot of connections with the villages, because I was regularly going in the school bus, going out, dropping kids off in the villages, and the people would want to show me things they were learning to make. And in the villages, there's no men because there's no work for them. They've gone either abroad or gone into the big cities, often never coming home, and the women would be left to fend for themselves. So they would be trying to find ways of making money. And so a lot of the women would show to me new things they were learning to make. NGOs from different countries were coming and teaching them different things. And they would be making jewellery, hand jewellery, hand-painted, knitting, all different things they were making. And it was like, where are we going to sell this stuff? And so that gave me an idea that when I got home, I would start selling their stuff for them. And so the first probably... Well, when I came home, I never had experience with retail before. I had been in real estate prior to going to Nepal, and so I decided I'd like to. So I started doing markets until people started saying to me, where else can we buy your stuff? And so 2 years ago, I opened my first shop.
Wow, that's very cool. I love hearing those stories, Marie, of starting in the market, starting with a little bit of a passion and just seeing where it goes with it. We've had so many stories like that on the Business Lunch Show. It's been fantastic. Now, tell me, we had someone on the show the other day that it was the same kind of concept. They went over, they loved the product, and they started, coming back with their suitcase full and stuff like that. Was that a bit of the same for you?
Not really. When I came home, I hadn't been back for 4 years, so but I had that idea in the back of my mind. So I went back the following year, and then to look for stuff that I thought would sell for start, because I didn't have a big budget for start, and so I found stuff and got it ordered and got it sent back. It arrived by some of it. I went online and was looking for, but most of it was stuff I'd found over there and then ordered. And so it was made, and then someone arranged for a shipping company to send it back for me. So I did bring a few things back. I did take an empty suitcase and brought that back full, but that didn't last long, of course. So, it was a few months later I got my first shipment, which, my first experience with customs and math and things like that. And so, since then it's been going good.
And how was that experience? How was that learning experience for customs and importing, etc.?
Well, I was able to do the first lot on my own, but that was quite scary. And the math took a week to clear it, and coming from Nepal. But the next lot, I, of course, had to. The customs told me I had to get a clearing agent if I was going to do it on a regular basis. So I worked with Main Freight, and they've been very, very good. Usually, I can used to arrive in Auckland. They'd send it on a Sunday night. It'd be in Auckland on the Monday, and then take 3 days to get to Wellington, and I'd pick it up from there. But now, last lot I got was beginning of March, and we've changed to different airlines, and it flies to Wellington now.
Oh, nice. And
so it just takes a few more days, but at least it's more reliable in coming down.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mentioned before about going over and hand picking. Was that something you were doing to recently, or was it
No.
more online?
No, it's I've got some very good friends because I, of course, having worked over in Nepal.
Yeah, of course.
The principal of the school I worked at, he was one of 5 brothers, and the youngest one was still at school when I was there. So I made very good friends with Robert, and he became my buyer. And so I employed him to go and look for different things. I'd send him a list of things I was looking for, and he would see things that he thinks I might like, and we went from photos. And it was, everything he suggested, or if I would say, could you find this or that, he would go looking for me and then send photos. And I would be 99.9%, I'd be more than happy with this, just by going by a photo. It was just so good. So he did it for about 5 years when he was at university in Kathmandu, and then he got the chance, because he became a chartered accountant, he got a chance to go to Australia. So I then had to pass it on to someone else. But my shipping man, he's been the same shipping company all this time, and it's been 8-9 years now, and he's very good. If I'm asking for something that I thought, well, I'll be interested in getting a lot of this, he would put me on to one of his people that he exports stuff for. And he's very, very good. I get everything at wholesale price. And, so I'm really happy with the way things are going.
Fantastic. There'd have to be a bit of trust in that, especially them sending it to you with their selections. But, hey, mate, it seems to be working so far. So 2 years into the store,
yes.
How has that been for you? Like, I've heard so many great stories of how supportive the community is around new business. Was that something the same for you? I mean, I know you already had a kind of a business background in Kapiti, but, starting out this, when you've done real estate, cheese, it's a bit different.
Yes, and I was a nurse prior to all that too. So,
wow.
Yes, I worked at Tabram Hospital until it closed down in 95.
Wow.
Things are working out really. I first had another shop that when I first decided to get a shop, I found a shop, and because I didn't know how it would go and but after a year I found the shop was too small for me, and so I was fortunate that beginning of April last year I was able to get the shop I'm in now, which is twice the size of the shop that I had in out on the main road. Across from the railway station, and it's worked out really well. Not only is it better location, but it's lighter, bigger, of course, and I can display my goods better. And so I'm really, really pleased with the shop. It's yes, it's, as I said, it's so light and better location, and I do get a lot of support from I do, because I've been able to still go to big markets.
Yep.
And people have been asking, they'd ask me, where else can we buy your stuff? And I do a few online sales and things like that. So I do get a lot of regulars. It's really nice. It's I have a lot of people that come to the shop and say, wow, this is a treasure trove. It's colourful. I'll be back for all my Christmas shopping, things like that. It's, must tell this person. I have a lot of people coming in and saying, I've been told to come to the shop. My friends, even I remember an elderly man coming in and saying he had been visiting a friend of his, and he had exactly the bag this guy had been looking for. It was a shoulder bag. He was in his 80s, had a walker, and he said that when he goes out, he just wants to take his car keys, his phone, and his tablets because he's a diabetic. Yeah. But he wants to put it over his shoulder. So I had these amazing hemp bags, and that's what the guy came in looking for, the same bag that his friend had.
Fantastic.
And this guy was in his 80s.
I love those stories. Hey, so let's talk about those products now. What is in store? You've mentioned the hemp bags. I know you've got some beautiful jumpers in there, but yeah, what is the stock range?
I have a lot of all my stuff is natural fibre, and I have a lot of clothing. In fact, one of my ex-students, he got hold of me last year and said he's now got his own business. Would I be interested in buying stuff from him? And he makes now he's become one of my biggest suppliers because he makes lots of cotton stuff. So I've got shirts, trousers, shorts, skirts, lots of tops, jackets, lined and unlined, ponchos that he makes, and all such good quality. I've been very, very impressed with his quality, and he, it seems like if I and he'll even go looking for things for me that he doesn't make. So I have a lot of felting, I have a lot of singing bowls, prayer flags, a lot of felt things like felt cushions for metal chairs, wooden chairs, slippers, lots of felt bags, cotton bags, hemp bags, and a lot of cotton hoodies and a lot of woolen jackets and things like that. It's a real mixture of stuff for all ages, from little babies right through to elderly gentlemen or even ladies. Yeah.
Well, I got to admit, looking on this time of year, everything's looking pretty warm on your Facebook page. So it's a good time. But you did mention earlier that COVID has slowed down what you can get into the store. So, how have the last few months been for you? You said, the first bit was really, really gung-ho, but how are you going to adjust to this time when stock isn't coming in?
Well, my last lot came in just the beginning of March, and that was one of the last lot to leave Nepal. They went in lockdown before we did, and they're still in lockdown. And about a month ago, manufacturing was allowed to start up again, but they've got the problem of no transport. Public transport isn't going, and a lot of people, of course, went home to the villages for during lockdown, and can't get back in because they don't have cars or it's too far to bike. And so they're a bit. It looked like it might be September before I could get some, but they're now hoping, the government is talking about commercial flights might be able to start in the middle of August, and they're hoping that there'll be flights coming that either to Hong Kong or to Singapore, and then I'll be able to get stuff. But I've got a lot of stuff already at the shipping company waiting for it to be cleared, to be airplane. They've got charter planes, but they're too expensive, 6 times the normal price. And that's the only planes coming in and out at the moment. So at the moment, I'm just sort of hoping that people can buy, still find things. I've still got a lot of stuff in the shop, but the winter jackets that I sell a lot of, even the heavy cotton ones, I've just sold out of. And the knitted jackets, lined ones, I've just got one of each size sort of left instead of a dozen of each size. So it's like picking through the bare bones, actually, for some of the stuff.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. The shelves could be more full and not selling, I guess.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Well, I still reckon we should come in and get what is there. So, so what's next for you, Marie? How are we going to adjust to this time? How do we fill those shelves more? Is it just a waiting game until the rest of the world sorts itself out?
I still have a lot of stock left. I mean, there's people waiting for slippers. I've got people that ordered stuff,
Oh, awesome.
and they know that people got. I sell a lot of slippers and felt slippers. They're handmade, and I have people who've ordered them. I've had people. They know the situation, and I also take orders for felt wool mats. They can get all different sizes and all different colours and that, and people just know the situation, but. There's still it's getting warmer now, and so there's I've got a lot of cotton clothing there, and a lot of hoodies, a lot of jackets, shirts, trousers, pants, shorts, so, people are starting to buy summery, lighter clothing instead of, but I still have a lot of hats, warm knitted hats and fingerless gloves and scarves and things like that. So there's still the wintry things, but not those big, heavy, popular jackets that I usually sell lots of.
Very excellent. Well, lastly, Marie, how can we find you? How can we get in touch?
I am beside on the walkway through to the light. It used to be the people who have been here a long time. They might remember the Westpac Bank that caught fire way back about 10 years ago. I'm in that building there, downstairs from Harcourt. So across from Kiwi Bank.
I know it well. Well. Well, thank you so much for your time, Marie. Go well, and I'll come in and see you soon.
Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you.